Alright guys, we actually got some Lollipop chainsaw news to talk about here. Since last week now, Dragami Games, the developers of the recent Lollipop Chainsaw remaster, came out and announced that they are partnering with some company called Nada Holdings in order to turn Lollipop Chainsaw into a full-blown franchise. And not long after they announced this, they did go ahead and confirm that they are already working on not only a sequel video game, but an anime adaptation as well. So this is definitely some very cool news. As far as this Nada Holdings company goes, I had never heard of them before, and I don't really know anything about them other than they're based in Taiwan. A professional would have done some research about this company beforehand, but I forgot about it. So, yeah, I don't really know anything about them, but they are going to be working with Dragami Games to kind of blow this up. So, it is really cool that we're finally getting another Lollipop Chainsaw game after all these years. When they put out this official announcement, and I actually want to read a quote directly from this. I'll have a link in the description to the full thing if you want to read through it for yourself. But there was one thing in this that really jumped out at me that it tickled me more than anything just because I thought it was funny. So during this announcement, they did say, quote, "As with the original, the new title aims to recreate a world rich in dark humor. The development process will prioritize staying true to the distinctive tone and spirit of the original work without imposing excessive creative restrictions in the name of DEI." So when I read this, I just kind of burst out laughing because I just found it funny that the first thing they thought of to tell everyone was, it's not going to be woke, people, don't worry, we promise it's not going to be woke. So I thought that was hilarious. It's also a sign of the cultural shift that we're going through now. And a good sign at that. So I am glad to hear that they're not going to be watering it down, which I didn't really expect them to. I think Dragami Games actually does, give a shit about this IP. I think a lot of their staff is people who worked on the original game back in the day. So I don't think they want to water it down or censor anything. And the fact that they're being very upfront about coming out and saying that they're not gonna, try to appease wokeness or corporate nonsense in order to water down the game, is definitely a good sign. Which, if I recall right, the last Lollipop Chainsaw video I made, I believe I said I was still on the fence about whether or not I was going to pick up Repop. Well, I did decide to go ahead and get it, and I do own a physical copy of the game now. However, it is still sitting in my backlog, and I haven't got around to playing it yet. Many such cases. So, I can't speak to the game itself, but based on everything I've seen out of Dragami Games, they do seem like they're at least trying to do right by this. So, with all these things considered, I am cautiously optimistic about this. Hopefully it ends up turning out well. Now, obviously they didn't have anything to actually show us for either the game or the anime at this point, since they have basically just started the development of both of them. So we don't have like any trailers or any screenshots or concept art or glimpses or anything about anything. So we have no hard information about any of this. On the anime side, I expect the anime just to be a straight adaptation of the game's story. Although personally, I would prefer it if they actually did an original story instead of just giving us the same plots we've already had again. But I expect it to probably just be a rehash of the games, which can be fine, as long as it's well done. But we'll have to see about that. As far as the sequel game goes, I have no earthly idea where they're going to take the story in that game. The story in the first game was definitely off the wall, and the ending was definitely something as well. So, there's a lot of ways they could take that. We'll see where they go with it. Hopefully it ends up being well done in terms of both story and gameplay. And hopefully, since they're going full-on franchise with this, me personally, I hope that does lead to more like merchandising opportunities, because I would definitely like to have some figures of like Juliet or maybe even some of the other characters. Which I know the collector's edition that Limited Run Games did of Repop came with a Juliet statue, But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that version. I did just have to get the standard edition. So it'll be really cool if they could like partner with Good Smile or something, and we could get like a Juliet Figma or Nindoroid or even a pop-up Parade figure or something like that. So me as a figure collector, I'm definitely looking forward to the merchandising side, and me as a gamer as well is definitely looking forward to the sequel. So hopefully it turns out well. Like I said, I am cautiously optimistic that it will. This is very early in development right now, so who knows how long it'll be before we get any actual hard information on any of this or see any trailers or anything. That's probably going to be a pretty good wait before we can actually get a look at any of this. But hopefully everything turns out well, and we end up with some nice Lollipop Chainsaw content to enjoy in the future. But anyway, I guess that's all I got to say, so lots of luck to you and yours.